Yeah, Chris Uhlmann, Sky News contributor, and I'll ask my questions in turn if I may there, Tom, and I'll start with the Minister Chris Bowen. Chris Bowen, in December 2021, you commissioned modelling which showed, and you pledged, that you would drop power prices by $275 for residential homes. You committed to it again in April 2022 when you were told that that modelling was flawed. You continued to commit to it in 2023 and 2024, even though electricity prices were rising. You continued to be committed to it when you started subsidising power bills. And now this year, as subsidies now have cracked through a new record and they're going through to the end of the year, you're spending billions of dollars on that. You are now claiming that electricity price falls due to subsidies are a fall in an electricity bill. Now, electricity prices are rising, aren't they, Minister? That's written into every electricity bill, isn't it, Minister? And if you can't admit that simple fact here today, why should anyone believe anything that you say?
Well, thanks very much for the question, Chris. I'm not exactly sure what your question is really in reality. You've got strong views about... Sorry, you asked... Are
electricity prices going up
Chris, you asked the question. I didn't interrupt you. Yeah, I didn't interrupt your question. Do I get to answer it? Do I get to answer it? Thank you. You've got strong views about these matters, which you express on Sky News in the evenings, and that's your right. I disagree with the way that you look at these matters. I disagree with the approach that you take, respectfully. I think that renewable energy is the cheapest form of energy. You disagree with me. You disagree with the CSIRO. You're perfectly entitled to that point of view. I have said at the outset, in my opening remarks, energy prices are higher than I'd like them to be. Of course they are. I think everyone would say that. I think normal Australians at home also look around the world and know that people around the world are dealing with similar issues. Countries with different policies in place are all dealing with high energy prices. With great respect, it's disingenuous and dishonest of you to blame all this on renewable energy as you do on Sky in the evenings. It's just not right, sir. It's just not fair. You're entitled to that view.
I'll ask a very, very simple question. Have electricity prices risen on your watch the exact opposite of what you pledged? Have they?
We have never denied that energy prices are higher than we would like. That's why we've delivered 3 rounds of energy bill relief.
In the Treasurer's speech you wrote, electricity prices have fallen. That's not true, is it?
Well, the fact of the matter is, if you look at the recent data, Australia's had the lowest energy inflation in the world.
Why?
No, you might deny that, and I know you deny several things.
What is the reason for it? What is the reason for it?
Mr. Uhlmann, are you asking a question or are you debating?
No, it's just that you are completely avoiding it, as you always do. We get a
well, I know you're a man of strong views on these matters, and I said I've always had respect for you, but I have a fundamentally different view to the one that you have developed in recent years, which you express on Sky News.
So if your premise on renewables is true, electricity prices will fall in your next term.
Well, again, I refer you to the Australian Energy Market Commission report, which says if we keep the path we're on, energy prices would fall by 13% over the next 10 years. You might deny that, I don't.
Question to Ted O'Brien. Ted O'Brien, you want to drop the price of gas. You're trying to get it out of Queensland. The pipelines are full. So how will you get the gas out of Queensland? The other question on that front is you're looking at uncommitted gas. What do you think will happen to uncommitted gas in Queensland when you remove the incentives?
Chris, on the first question, this is why infrastructure is so key. And so much as our gas reservation policy has captured the imagination of many people, because it is really putting Australian gas for Australians first, you're right that we still have to get it to where it's needed. And that's why we talk about a comprehensive policy suite. One of the measures in that suite is a $1 billion critical infrastructure fund. Now, the priority for spending that money is going to be to try and accelerate and future-proof the infrastructure needed from north to south, Queensland to the southern markets. The second part of my answer to that would be time. The real risk is the winter peaks, which is why what we need to do is ensure we are maximising the transportation of gas from Queensland south.
Time to build the pipeline, which is how long?
So that was part of the first question. That will not solve for next year, which is why this second part is so key. Timing is key. So we need to get gas from Queensland south while we only have the existing infrastructure before winter hits. Now, the only way that's going to work is it needs to come down south prior to the peak, and storage becomes absolutely key. And that is something that we believe that we can get done.
This will be in place in the next 3 years?
In the next 3 years, in order to solve for that short-term problem. And the storage is going to be the key.
And you're committed to that?
In terms of enough storage over the next 3 years, yes. I think the real problem, Chris, to be honest, is we need to get the gas. We need to get the gas down. And I believe the reservation scheme will allow for that.